you don't hear? Okay, back with another live stream, and let's see. Got notes and got things in my head too, but I got three machines that want my attention, but I'm gonna have to do them one at a time, of course. The IBM is beginning to make some noise again. Sometimes the fan. Well, yesterday I was messing around with what's it called? I had to make a video of it because, well, mostly because I didn't feel too good and didn't feel like setting it up, setting it all up and getting it going. But plus, I didn't really know. I was learning, really learning. So, Phoronix benchmarking suite. It's really cool, but there's a learning curve to it. So, because it's a command line program, but it does have select one, select two in it. But you also I kind of ended up learning a couple of the commands, like how to start it up and stuff. But also, it kept saying when you start it up, it's way out of date. And I installed it from the Fedora 23 repos, and it says it was way out of date. You should update it. And it wasn't working right. It was you try to load it. Well, if you select a set of tests, then it downloads them and runs them. But it was saying they're not available and stuff. So I thought, okay, maybe the updated version would have them. And that's the machine I really wanted to run the test on. I wanted to see if it would make noise and stuff if I was doing making it work hard and stuff. And I just wanted to. That's the machine I wanted to do it on, because I did install it on the Fedora 28 on the Lenovo i5. Well, I didn't want to run that while I was making a video either. I could. Well, anyway, I started with that one and I got wore out messing with it, and I didn't do anything on this one, the one I'm streaming from. I could have, because I wasn't making a video. I guess. Now I think about it, I think that was part of my plan, but I never got any further than that one because I just fried my brain. I wasn't feeling good or not thinking straight. I did well to follow through, but I got it installed, and I at some point I'll probably show some of that, because that's kind of now that I went through it and figured out what to do. Took a long time, about 3 hours or more, which is not unusual for my videos, but anyway. Got the new one installed and everything, and it ran one test just fine, and then I decided to try to run a set of I didn't want a really big set, because some of them it says it could take a while, and I didn't want to wait another hour or two for it to run. So I tried anyway. I messed around until I think I tried another set of tests, and it now I can't even remember to tell the story. I think I tried. I know I began to try another set of tests, and it. This is what happened. I should write that down, I guess. I think I did write it down somewhere. Anyway, what happened was I got hung up, and I think that was what was hanging me up in the first place, and I wasn't paying enough attention to the readout, the terminal output. It doesn't want a root password to download and install the test. It's set up to only work with sudo. Well, I don't install sudo privileges. I don't install any. Sometimes there's some apps you need if you may not already have them, and you need to. There's a sudo. There is at least one sudo app that helps sudo work easier instead of SU super users. Like if you're in the terminal, you type SU, that's super user privileges, full complete root privileges. Sudo gives you pseudo root privileges. You can do most things, but not everything. Kind of upgraded privileges, but so you can install applications and stuff, but try to help keep you from breaking the system. But I've always been careful, and I've never broken a system in the command line. If I don't understand it, I don't do it, So, it always could happen, though. But anyway, you can break it with it's pseudo privileges, too, because what you have is the privileges you have as pseudo user. You could easily break your system, because I'm pretty sure you can just if you there's some commands that you always say, don't ever run these commands, and it's like so-and-so delete directories, like delete your main, delete your kernel or something, I don't know if you could do that, but you could delete things that would make it not work, break your system. But anyway, what it's saying is it wanted the regular user's sudo password. Well, that's your regular password. Well, I'm not in the sudoers group is the error I would get. Is what I'm trying to get to. So and it's a pain to get you put your user because I can't remember. It's not that hard to do, but unless you have there used to be a GUI app again back to the older like Fedora 14 and stuff, and before you could just go in the GUI, and there is a GUI app still in the newer versions. But anyway, you could. Used to be an easy way to just add yourself to your user to a pseudo words group, but I really don't like that. I never hardly ever need to do that anytime. It just adds another layer of confusion, is what it does. Because the one thing I absolutely couldn't stand when I tried out Ubuntu was that it would jump back and forth between asking for your pseudo password, your regular user password, or the root password, depending on what it was you were trying to do. Well, I'm just, I get in a routine and I see need password, put in a root password. I'd already been that way for years because I started years before with Fedora, and so I don't like it personally. But anyway, it's a pretty cool app, and if I ever learn enough about it and get my set up, I don't know if I even want to on that machine, set up pseudo privileges for my regular user. I don't like that security-wise on a server, especially because it, to me, it would be more likely, from what I've learned and read over all the years, it's more likely that someone could break in enough to get your regular user password than it is the root password. And so if your regular user has pseudo privileges, then they could do more damage. I don't know if that's more likely, really, but that's my thinking. So, I mean, in another hand, you could say, well, if both the passwords are good, they should be equally as hard to break. But I think it's just from the security levels. Well, here's the thing: the permission levels are so different. I mean, that I think that the right programs might be able to sniff I can't think of the names of them. The attack programs that brute force attacks might be able to crack your regular user password quicker than your root password because of file permissions and all that, and because of SE Linux. SE Linux is a lot more strict on root actions than it is on regular user actions, security Linux, so in Fedora. So there you go. So, then last night, or today, but when I was asleep in the daytime, because I've been up all night and sleeping in the day lately, I woke up. Well, I always wake up several times, but I woke up and I could hear it really making noise, and I thought, I think that hard drive might be making noise again. And so I'm thinking, man, I better. I had almost given up on messing with the Smiley Gateway right now. I thought I'm just wasting time on it, but I may really need it. I might ought to just switch to it if I can get it quiet. It's too loud right now. That and what's the other thing? The fan. While I was running the Phoronix test suite, really what was making it work hard, I made it work hard by just opening up the web browser to read up on how to update it and everything. That makes it work hard. That fan sped up, and it got quite a bit louder and stayed that way the whole time I was really using the machine, opening. I had the terminal open, it was running Phoronix, and I had the web browser open for quite a while. And so even though that's a 4-pin fan, plugged into a 3-pin header on that motherboard, it still does speed control. That's why when I first put it in, it said in the stuff I found online, it said that it wouldn't do speed control. They wouldn't do speed control. But I did see, I think I remember on one of the articles I read, he had written in there, but it seems that some models of fans are made in such a way that they will work. But he had it all crossed out. It's funny how people do that sometimes. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that, So I guess it meant they won't. Usually it means, well, I thought this, but I was wrong. But sometimes I guess it means I'm not sure. So it'd be a lot easier if they would just say, this is what I thought, but now I'm not sure, or I thought this, but I think I was wrong. So anyway, So the speed control, just like I thought, it did work with the 3-pin fan, and it does work on this particular 4-pin fan. But the other 4-pin fan that I put on the 3-pin header on the Smiley Gateway over there, it runs at full blast, and it's so loud, and it's such a weird sound and a loud sound that I can't stand it. So it's coming. I'm going to take it out. I'd rather have the old fan out of the that fan there that came out of IBM. It wasn't as bad to listen to, and it would be speed controls because it's a 3-pin. And that's what I think I'll do is, that label's already been off a couple of times. I'll take it off, and I already squirted it with. I didn't ever take it apart because I didn't take it apart because my hands weren't working good that day, and I couldn't see a darn thing either. And plus, I was afraid I'd break that little. If you break the little plastic keeper, then I don't have any more. I've done that before. So, but you can, if you don't take them apart to clean, usually that shaft, especially, it gets metal off of that bushing. That I think it's copper, not brass. So either way, it gets metal on it, from time of rubbing. And if you'll clean it off, that makes a huge difference. And then I'm not so sure which is better. Like Rustbuster is the best. The PB Blaster brand of Rustbuster. I don't remember if it's called. Keep forgetting to look at the can. There's one called Rustbuster and there's one called PB Blaster. And I guess I originally discovered Rustbuster, so I just call them all Rustbuster. But it's PB Blaster. That's what it says on there. I know that because that one is it's way better at penetrating and quicker than anything else I've ever tried, including LPS that I used to use, that I learned about back in the 70s. Well, actually, the old original LPS used to be the best I ever used, and a lot of those things we had back in the 70s, EPA made them change the formulas, just like Rust-Oleum paint. Found out a couple of years ago why Rust-Oleum paint doesn't dry good anymore half the time. It's because they made them change the formula. It's on their website if you search around. I found it one time, but because I had that problem and I never used to. It still works pretty good about inhibiting rust, but sometimes in the wrong temperatures and the wrong humidity, it won't dry. So, like ever sometimes. So anyway, what happened with mine is I painted a little baby table saw table that you put a hand saw under, or a circular saw, and it dried just fine until you put it out in the sun, and it gets all sticky, and you can't only slide your wood on it, to the point that it gets kind of dangerous. And it's still, a year later, it was still doing that. So I haven't ever messed with it anymore. I don't get to use it that often, but if it hasn't dried, the next time I get it out, I may try. I read around, and you might be able to make it mix up another batch, and I sprayed it. Well, one of the mistakes I know was I was trying to use up I had some spray cans of Rust-Oleum. It was black. I don't know why I'm talking about paint right now, but I had some spray cans of Rust-Oleum that wouldn't spray anymore, but there was some in there, quite a bit still left in there. When they sit around for years and years, a lot of times they'll lose their propellant, but this paint's still in there. And so I poked holes in the bottom of the cans or the top or whatever, and poured it into I have a paint sprayer, for a compressor, and so I poured them in there, and it was super, super thin. And so I did add a little bit I had a quart can, and so I had some of it in there, mixed it all together, and got it to where it would spray, and no telling what I ended up with, and so it didn't work good. But from what I've read, straight out of the quart cans, the thick stuff is what's doing most people. That's what people usually have trouble with these days, and it's all about the temperature and the humidity, from what I remember. But anyway, PB Blaster is a better penetrating oil, but I'm beginning to think that the last time I put that in a fan, after a week or two, whatever, it began to kind of get gooey and actually inhibit the fan spinning. So I thought, well, this one, it seems, I haven't even tried to spin it lately. But, I can't tell that it's inhibited. I mean, it has that cogging effect because it's I was just watching another video about DC brushless motors. That's a characteristic of a DC brushless motor that the magnets cause it. I know that. I always remember that part. But I have, well, you don't see so many brush motors anymore, except for starters and stuff, which I haven't taken one apart in years and years. So I don't remember about the spinning on them, really. But I was trying not to go. I'm just going around and around about what I've been doing or what I want to do instead of just getting with it. I'd rather do that, but I'm having trouble getting wrapped around my head what what to do anyway. So now I made myself go blank. So maybe I've got the WD-40, and maybe I'm going to just hit that. I'm going to take that off and hit that. Yeah, that's all I had to say. I'm going to hit that with some WD-40. But the reason was I keep going around and around in my head about which one I think is better and what to do with these things. And I think I'll do that first and see how it runs in this Smiley Gateway. See if it's noisy. If it's not very noisy and it spins good, then there's no point in taking, risking breaking my keeper, taking it apart. And I've thought for a long time. I always save all kinds of nuts and bolts and parts and everything, and I know I had some little keepers, nice little metal keepers, steel, I guess, for mostly for car. I think. Oh, I guess they're anodized. They give a goldish glow to them usually, and they come with carburetor kits. Well, I've saved those for years. So I have about 10 of them. I can't remember. Maybe I finally dug them out, and I had trouble finding them the last time I looked. At least I know I have some in my old carburetor kits. I actually don't like to use them for other things because when you really need one for a carburetor, you're stuck. You got to have it. And but anyway, they may be too big. They may not fit those shafts. The ones I'm thinking right now, the ones I know most of them are too big, but there may be one or two that come with those that are the right size. Of course, you could buy some, I'm sure. But the metal, that whole thing spins, and I'll show it later. But that plastic spins with the shaft. So if it's metal, if it's touching, say the case of the fan, it's going to grind on it and grind up that plastic. So and slow down the fan. So anyway, so the plastic, I remember some fans have a whole bunch of little thin plastic shims in there, so those could act like an extra bushing to keep the plastic from itself. Even the plastic's not going to grind on it like it's soft, and it could be like a bushing in itself, the plastic keeper. But the metal ones, well, they kind of have sharp edges and everything, and they're going to be like a little cutter, So I don't know if that's such a great idea anyway, without really getting into it and trying it and seeing. But you might be able to, they're pretty hard, the metal ones. I don't know about, I was going to say you might be able to sand them and smooth them up and stuff. But anyway, they'd really need to be flat polished. Not just, if you're sanding, it would still grind, Be like a mill, like a mill grinding wheel. So anyway. Might be way too much trouble. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now there's a lot of things on this machine, and I meant to really start with that, but I've got several notes about things that with the Fedora 28 here, but I'll just go into that when I actually do it. I thought I was going to do that first, but for some reason I can't get the fans off my head. I think I'll do the fans. I mean, I can let that other stuff with this machine wait. So it's just to do with boot errors and some things, and that. Well, I will show that right now. Let's just open it up and see. Let's go to the desktop. And the other day I installed Fedora Media Writer, and it wouldn't run. Let's see what it's going to do now. It would run, but it wouldn't work. It kept, and it looks great. Now, I do kind of remember, I think I was on the server when I used it. I installed it on there and used it to make my Fedora 28 USB sticks. I think if I'd made it full screen, it wouldn't. I thought this machine couldn't handle it. So but maybe it's something weird in the app. Once in a while, there's something like that. So here's Fedora 20. What's this? Okay. Oh, I remember now. Okay, there's Fedora 28 workstation. Fedora 28. Oh, it doesn't say server. I thought that was for server. And then the custom image. I've already downloaded the one I need. A Fedora 28 i386, except I've only got 512 megabyte of RAM. See, I'm thinking about putting it on the Smiley Gateway. That's what I'm getting to. But I don't even know for sure if I'd have to look and make sure that it'll even run on. I don't think it'll run on anything under a gig of RAM. Even just the plain server, it doesn't come with a GUI. I installed on the IBM. First I installed Mate Desktop and it couldn't run that. It just wasn't powerful enough, so I put XFC on it, and it's fine with that. I like to have a real desktop because it's so much easier to work on the machine, administrate it and everything. I don't want remote administration turned on. To me, that's just too big of a security risk. So, oh, that says Fedora, Fedora Server 28. Okay, let's see what happens. It's been crashing when you click that. Yes, it crashes still. I mean, it's gone. I'll leave that system monitor like that. Well, let's just do it from here this time and see. Let's open it up again. Yeah, we'll be able to watch it. Okay, so that's all that's running under Media Writer. Now, if you go to Workstation, it works. And of course, you can't read everything, so I always like to do that. Now, what it was doing before is that the window would go nuts and not work right. It's okay now, but I don't want Workstation. That's Genome 3 desktop, and I don't want that. Now you go back like that. Why is it crashing when you click on the server? Now custom image. Let's see if I'm able to do that. Well, so far so good. I don't know if I left it in downloads or took it out and put it. Yeah, I think I took it out and decided I didn't need a double copy of it. So it's on my backup drive, and I don't have a USB stick in here or anything right now, but so I've got it on my backup drive. That, I guess, it looks like I'll be able to do. Well, why does it crash when you click on the server? It makes me worry about using it, though. The last one, like I said, let's see what's in here now. When I did my last set of Fedora 28s, I did it on the Fedora 23, the IBM server, and I can just do that. I just have to go either copy it over there on the network or download it again. But you've got the spins as well. This will download it and then burn it to or write it to your USB stick all for you automatically. It's really great. There's really no real need to. The reason, I guess it was a good thing after all. I didn't know if the i386 would be available in the server section. Just like in Workstation, if you click on Workstation, you don't get other options. You're just going to have 64-bit. Oh, there it is. Other variants. Oh, ARM-V or 64-bit. Okay, so well, you got to watch those tiny little things there. But anyway, this is going to be Genome 3 desktop, and didn't even tell you that. Okay, right here, you can change to 32-bit and ARM-V, ARM-V7. I don't know why I stopped there. ARM-V7. So that's ARM version 7 is what that is. Okay, so 32-bit. Let's see what we get in there. Scientific, custom image, and that's it. Okay, so they're not going to automatically let you download any. Let me make sure you can see it good. Yeah, they're not automatically. That's all they're offering up. Of course, maybe maybe I should do that and then pick custom image. Probably should. Yeah, there might be a difference in the way they burn it. Or I always say burn it because it originally it was all CDs and DVDs and you burned them. But okay, I'm going to click on it again. It crashes instantly. So that's a bug. Now I'm wondering if, there it goes. There's the bug reporting tool. I don't want to, I might have just made it come open. Yeah, I did. I don't want to, do the reporting right now. I may end up doing some of that because maybe an actual. That looks like it could be an actual bug, but not right now. Okay, so I never did check my sound. See that my picture is good over there. Yeah. Okay, so really, if it's acting crazy like that, I don't want to use it. So that's right now the most important thing. And then there's some other errors on boot, things that aren't starting up and stuff. Well, the other day I installed the ACMods and KMod kernel modules, and that's one of the errors. It says they're not starting up. So let's see. I have notes. Yeah, one of them says, yeah, that's the one I believe. Yeah, load modules. It says go to system systemctl status. Go to systemd.modules load services or load dot services. I can't remember now. And to see what's going on with that. And then there's another one, error with I guess I need to take my darn paperclip that holds all this together. Does not let me read my notes. Might as well get back on the camera so you can watch me fiddle with my notes. Yeah, I guess I could try clicking the right one. Okay, so boot error, etc, and I didn't, it goes away. You got to hurry up and write fast. You're watching the command line while it's booting. And it says something was an error. I didn't get it all written down, but it's in the etc folder, in the etc file, I mean. etc folder, and then it says run to fix, I wrote down, sbin /mpath conf config. So, yeah, you're going to be configuring something there. And then an earlier one, well, anyway, I could check my boot logs. I wrote a note to myself, check my boot logs. I got two good log reading apps, so that's really good. It's hard to, you can't ever remember where the log files are. I mean, you can read them with a text reader, but finding them, I mean, they're all over the place. So I don't even remember I don't know how many times I've in the past went to boot logs. Well, once every few years, really. You usually don't have all this going on. Now, I don't know if it's Fedora 28. Or if it's because I installed. There's one thing I do remember. When I installed all those groups, I do remember, I guess I should look back through my terminal output that I saved. Do you remember seeing a list of about 8 or 10 missing dependencies? And that could be a bit, what's going on here too. And why did it go ahead? What I don't understand though is why did it go ahead? Well, I said skip broken in my script. That must have applied. I wasn't sure if that skip broken at the top applied to the whole script or just that section where I hand type stuff, but maybe that it must apply to the whole thing. And I also put Y, yes on everything. So maybe there was an output that said, that's probably what did it more than anything. I put the Y install, dash Y, DNF dash space dash Y install. And so if it popped up an error saying, or it would have, if I hadn't put the Y in there, it would have said, there's missing dependencies with this group. What do you want to do? Do you want to go ahead and install without, if the first choice was go ahead and install with, and just skip the missing dependencies, it would say yes and do that. Or sometimes there's 3 choices, skip the missing dependencies, install just the apps that'll work, or don't install any of that group. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that. So maybe that's a downside of putting that Y install in when you're doing group installs. Yeah, I could have jacked things up. Probably did because I've never seen so many on a brand new system. So many, but I mean it can happen. I mean if this is a brand new Fedora 28 and there's updates every day. Sometimes I see twice a day updates coming up, and and my automatic updates are working just fine. And the reason I know there's updates is because the reason I know there's updates is because I see the regular DNF update notifier, and it just sits there saying, like there's updates, and if you Well, if you at the beginning, it'll show you how many. If you happen to see it when it first comes open up there, it's not on right now, but when it first comes up, it'll be right up here. You know, that's the OBS Studio. It'll be right there where OBS Studio is, and if you were to, or you can, you know, right click on it and do stuff. I haven't been right. I didn't want to open up the GUI, so I didn't do it until earlier tonight. I did it. I right clicked and said check for updates, and it said there's no updates because I didn't want to open the window because it takes so long. And so anyway, and the other day I did open the window. It took forever, and there was no updates. It took like it seemed like 10 minutes for it to finally come up and say, okay, you know, do all the scanning and looking, and then there wasn't any updates. So I know the updates are working. But what I was thinking is maybe I think that graphic part of DNF update checker, I can take that out of the startup. And I think I'll go in there and do that right now while I'm thinking about it. So here's what I'm talking about. The DNF Dragora updater is what comes up. It has that icon, the same icon as regular DNF Dragora. And of course, I installed Apper and it wouldn't run, and I installed the one called Software, and it's not in that; it's somewhere else in there. And it works, but not. I forgot what it. I don't know if it's actually causing any trouble. It works. I kind of thought it might be the reason that Media Router was crashing is because I installed it with that, but I don't think so. I don't think so now. I was just you know, sometimes you just grasp at every straw, and sometimes they turn out to be right, but usually not when you're just grasping at straws like that. Okay, so there we go. Startup applications. Now this one, in this little window, whoops, you can make it bigger if you get a hold of it there, so you can read it. Okay, now Blueberry is the Bluetooth. That comes stock with Fedora for years now. Well, I don't have any Bluetooth adapters for this desktop, so I'm going to take those out. And the Bluetooth OBEX agent allows to receive files on Bluetooth. Well, I don't have any Bluetooth adapters, so my phones do, but you know, you can't use Bluetooth between a phone and a desktop unless you got a Bluetooth adapter on the desktop too. But I just use Wi-Fi to do that, SFTP into the phones. That reminds me, SFTP. I kept trying to do that in Crusader like I always have done for years, and I was frustrated because it just kept saying that's not supported. And I thought, well, I've just used it recently, and I finally remembered what I believe happened, and I don't guess I'll get into it right now, but you need to let's see. .local share, is that it? Can't remember. Key rings, I think that might be it. No, that's not it. That's your other password, you know, a genome key ring. That's different. I'm looking for the, I guess if I would go in alphabetical order, I might see it. Yeah. Config. Okay, well, I thought surely I'd be able to go in. Oh, SSH. That's what it's supposed to be. You know what? Maybe I don't have the applications installed. I guess I don't. Yeah, I think it's .ssh. So maybe that's why it's the actual. What I was going to say is they dropped the I believe in Fedora 26 or it was the first time I noticed that they dropped support for password logins with .sftp in period. Well, in Crusader anyway, and I think it might be in Fedora, and you had to make private and public keys, SSH keys or whatever the way you're supposed to say it. And you have to run some commands to do that. And I just now realized, oh, well, the other thing is I don't even have a .ssh folder. So, yeah, first you got to have SSH installed. And, the applications for that. So I haven't done that. There's just so many things that I'm running into that I don't have, and I don't know what to install. And it's really hard to find stuff in Dragora too, that it makes me just think, I may as well make me that script and just duplicate the apps that were on my old system. I just don't want to slow this thing down. It's still running fine, even though I'm getting these errors. It's not running poorly or anything. So I don't know. I'm gonna hold off on that until I kept thinking I'll hold off till I finish Mom's, but really I ought to work out all my plan and my bugs, before I start building Mom's system. So that I will think I better do. So anyway, I just thought of it in the middle of what I was doing. Now the Dragora updater, check for updates and notify. That's what I've been talking about. I don't think I need that. The one good thing about it is it tells me that there's updates, because otherwise I won't know without going and looking in the logs, But I don't like it sitting there the whole time I'm running my machine. It doesn't, like whenever you manually update, well, it goes away after you do your updates. But when it automatically updates, the way I set it up the other day in the other video, if you didn't see that, couple of 2 or 3 videos, in the last 2 or 3 videos, I had to, I looked it up, and I never can remember exactly how to do things, but so I have to look it up again. So anyway, I did the whole thing, looked it up, found the information, found the commands, and set it up. You have to run some commands. You have to install Fedora Automatic, and then it's easy to install it with the terminal, and then you got to edit some config files and stuff. Tell it to go ahead and update. So I'm pretty sure that I don't need this running. So I'm going to take it out, and if it stops me from getting updates, then give me a screenshot of that. Then I'll turn it back on. That's one reason why I'm making a screenshot. Okay, and then GeoClue demo agent. I don't know what GeoClue is. That obviously came. I'm pretty sure that came with some of the things I installed in the group install. Now let's see. And that's the thing about installing a bunch of software in groups, and maybe some of it may be a bunch, some of it or a bunch of it might not be anything you really need. You're going to end up with at least some things running in the background, but that's running that I don't think is a normal. I'll have to see what that is. Well, RRC screen reader, I don't really use that much, but I don't think it uses a lot. Once in a while I do like to use the screen reader, so I'm going to leave that. You could take, if you really don't ever use screen reader, then you want to cut down on what's running in the background, you could take it out. Problem reporting used to be called ABRT, automatic bug reporting. It's called something else now, I guess. Another app. I guess it might be using a different system now. I don't know. But actually, I think they are still using that, because they have a whole website, and you go log in there to read the bug reports, and if they ask you a question, email you. If you allow them to do that, they'll email you and say, what about this, or would you run this command and tell me what happens. The developers will do that. And I always did that over the years. I don't do it near as much as I used to. But anyway, you need to be able to log into the ABRT website. Let's see, Spice VD agent. That is something to do. Well, SSH key agent. That's what I was talking about. SSH keys. Oh, so Genome Keyring does handle SSH keys. Okay, and the Spice is, I forgot what it is, but I think it actually comes with Fedora. It's not. I don't think I did get that separately. In my groups. User folders, VBox client. Now that's because I installed VirtualBox. That's the VBox client thing. That's if you want to use VirtualBox, you need to leave that going. VMware user agent. That's from that other thing, boxes. Let's see. Boxes is one I got with the groups, and then I installed VirtualBox all by itself because that's the one I really know how to use. And Virtual Machine Manager is the one that'll you can set up virtual machines in Koimu and stuff like that. I think it'll run a couple of different virtual machine types, but Koimu's the only one I really ever got working in there. Boxes they rave about it in articles, so I thought I'd try it out. Well, I don't know if I realized I was getting it, but I got it. I tried it out the other day when I first got it, and I didn't. What I tried to run, what didn't run, but I didn't want to fool with it anymore. So anyway, the rest, all that I'm going to leave in there. And yeah, SSH key agent. Still, I guess I just need to look and make sure. I think I'd have to go look up the commands to make a public and private key. But not having that folder, well, maybe I missed it, but that folder with the public and private keys, I haven't made any, and I don't think running that command makes that folder. It could. You know what? Maybe that's it. Maybe since I've never made any keys, I was thinking it was in like .local or something. I guess not. It's not going to be in .local share. Yeah. So anyway, no use in sidetracking on that right now. Get back to my videos folder so I can, when I want to look in on that. Actually, I'm going to close Crusader right now. For some reason, I don't need it running. And okay, so I need to figure out. Yeah, this is really involved stuff, all that stuff I read, you know, those errors and trying to trace them down and doing all that. I think I want to get, I'm worried that if that is the hard drive making noise on the server, that it could just quit. So really I want to have me a server. Okay, so I want to have me a server, a good backup server, one that I could just be my server, you know, since I got the machine there. That's just about like the IBM. I mean, it's a the IBM's a 2.5 gigahertz Celeron. The Smiley Gateway's a 2.8 gigahertz Celeron. The only thing it doesn't have is enough memory. But the other day I figured out it came when I got it. It was running a 256 megabyte, just one single 256 megabyte, 3300 megahertz DDR RAM stick. Well, I've got 1 gigabytes in the IBM, so if I decide to actually make this one, you know, the gateway my server, I can use that RAM in there, and then the IBM will just be crippled with just a. I think it at least has 3 RAM slots, so I could at least put 748 or whatever it is, you know, 3 256s. What would that be? 512, 6, 7, yeah, 7. I think it's something like 748. So. And it would still be usable for whatever, you know, unless I, you know, if I really want to use it, then if I really want to use them both, then really get after, then I would go ahead and spend $11.50 on 2 more gig of RAM. That I would do, but I showed that in the other video the other day where I've been getting that computer bay memory on Amazon. So I need to know before I go to actually messing with the fans and the hardware, I need to know if that machine right now without the extra memory in it, will it even run? I don't think it'll run Fedora server without. Let's open up the browser. Forgot to get on the desktop. The browser took us so long to open up here that I was able to click back and forth without a problem. It still opened up. Got back in the desktop I wanted it to be in. Okay. Let's see if I have favorites. I have, you know, that's how many favorites I've got since I built this system, or bookmarks, without importing my other bookmarks. But let's see. I was looking to see. I wonder if there's something like requirements, automating system tasks, DNF system upgrade, Fedora system administration guide. Now this is why I really miss having all my bookmarks, because this search is pretty good in here. I can search all of them. Even when I have a lot, it doesn't take too long to. I can do multi-word searches. You can't do it's not as good as Google or anything, you know. isn't as far as being able to put 3 or 4 or 5 words in there. But if you keep it simple, you can just leave a space in between the words, and even if they're in a different order, they'll still come up. You can't do that if you open up your bookmarks in the browser and then search with the find in this page function. You can't do double. If you can do 2-word searches, but they got to be in the same order. Like Fedora space system, exactly like that. I tried it the last few days. I've been doing it, and it's driving me nuts. You can't find a thing. So I don't know. I kept holding off on importing them into here because I don't want to slow down my browser. Sorry about all the hacking and coughing. The drainage is so bad I can hardly talk. Okay. I'm looking for system requirements if I can find. Yeah, that's what I figured. I found a couple of my videos in there. Broken bootloader diagnostics. Well, that's Win 7. That's an old video. Fedora Media Writer, start to finish. There's one right there, one of my videos. I don't know if it's an old one or a new one. I'll get it started playing and see. I always put everything in playlists. Oh, that's Fedora 26. There's one of the videos where I did, of course, I would say look at the newer one with Fedora 28. I did that on the IBM. Well, the good thing about this one, I think, is it's a remote desktop. I did it on remote desktop. My desktop works. Yeah, see, it's a good quality. You can really see everything. And I don't think that things have changed a whole lot since then, really. So it might be better to watch that one than the new one, because I had to do that with the camera pointed at the screen. If you didn't know how to use Fedora Media Writer to set up a USB stick. So yeah, but see, I would have lots more results coming up if I was searching all of my favorites, not just the ones I have in the last few weeks. Okay, so whoops. I got plenty of links about Fedora. Let's see. Guess I can try looking through them. Let's put them in alphabetical order. Actually, let's go by the site, because I want, if you click over there, location, now I can look just through the Fedora websites. Go to the docs page. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Let's just go right here first. Install guide. Let's see, there's 27 and 28. There we go. What was that? Quick docs. Oh. Okay. 28 installation guide. Okay. System. Usually they put system requirements, but not always. No. Let's see. I just saw something. Oh, it was talking about remote access to it while you're installing it, I think, and that's actually, well, if you got a system that can handle that, that you're installing on, then I'd like to do that to be able to video it from this machine here. Huh. Okay, but that's the sidetrack. But VNC, if it's actually telling, it might find a better way. Like then, KRFB works fine, but it also takes a lot of quite a bit of RAM. You know, to like 350 megabytes worth of files to get it going. So, okay, I already did that. System. I wish there was a search on this. See, right here they should have a search so I can search for what I want instead of. Let's see. Yeah. This would definitely be, well, this is a quick guide. It doesn't have like next. Okay. Oh, I see. They changed from having that. Well, it's still kind of the same thing. It used to there was a next button at the bottom of each page on the old documentation. But now I guess you got to do this. Click on these. Probably installing. Maybe not. Introduction. Oops. Yeah. I'm trying to search for things like RAM and system requirements and stuff like that. Downloading Fedora, it could be. It's always there, but doesn't say Media Writer on that page, so that's just about downloading. I'm glad that they still have 386 available. And if you don't know the difference between DVD image, net install image, or different types of images, and that'll tell you there. Live, of course, it'll be the full system running in live, and then you can install from it. DVD is good if you don't have a very fast. Well, if you don't have a very fast internet connection, you might not want to wait for the DVD to download. But well, let's say you wanted to download on a fast connection and then install even without internet. That'll have the whole system, whatever version you downloaded. And the net install is kind of cool in another way because you got a lot more choices to choose from and variations in the net install image because it's all bringing it down from the net. But it does take quite a bit longer to install. ARM is for ARM processors, and then cloud images are for running on cloud machines, servers and stuff. Usually says in there. When that cloud is just another word for server. I don't know why they started saying that. It's silly. They should just say server, because that's what it is. But let's see. The Fedora Cloud Atomic image is a Docker container host that uses Project Atomic. I thought that was saying automatic at first. First time I read about Project Atomic for updates. Docker-based image for Fedora is also available. You're not require installation. Well, I thought it was going to say, anyway, they have some that'll run on Amazon Cloud and stuff if you really wanted to pay the money to do that. Boot images, tiny boot image written to CDs, USBs, or even floppy disk. Oh, BFO, bootfedora.org is what that is. You can get, they're small, really small, like 35 megabytes or something. I always keep that, and you can boot. It will boot to the bootfedora.org servers and download the whole whatever system you select and boot it up on your machine, and then you can install from it. It's really just for installing, it's not for running live. And like net install, like the net install. So it's very similar to that. Only all you need is this little, like they said, floppy. Of course, if you got an old machine that runs a floppy, it's not going to run these new versions of Fedora. Although you can go, I think when you use this BFO, you can go back quite a bit further than you could say if you use the net install, as far as what there's available. Older, like if you were wanting to put it on an older machine. But anyway, it takes a long time. Even I've got 60 megabits down and 4 up, and it takes so long I get tired of waiting. I think it takes a good 20 minutes usually to download. Say, last time I did it was probably, I don't know, maybe even last time I sat long enough to left it, like I don't sit there and watch it because I can't stand it. I'll go off and do other things. But last time I did that and waited long enough for it to get up and running, ready to use, I don't know if it's Fedora 23 or 26, but it's been a while. So anyway, I'm off on, I see things that I think are interesting to know, and I get off on that instead of what I'm trying to do. Let's go to the advanced. Okay, boot options, automating the installation. That's what I need to really learn how to do. Well, the thing is, I never want to completely duplicate my, like for Mom, I don't want my system for her because it's too much stuff. You can set up, anyway, all that. Installing using VNC, current system. Oh, upgrade upgrade. Thought it was, there's used to be a revisor, a GUI app that was, it was hard. It was easy to use, but you had to get everything just right, and you had to build a kickstart file, and you had to get everything just right, and then it would work. I only made it work once on Fedora 11. I still have that. I completely duplicated my Fedora 11 system, and it was a 3 gigabyte image, and all these years I never had anything I could even no USB device I could put it on. It wouldn't fit on. See, would it fit? No, it wouldn't fit on DVDs. Would it? I don't think so. So anyway, I never used it. Well, it got too old. I mean, Fedora 11 got too old to use. So I want to click on that VNC. I want to put that in my. Now, see, the documentation, I like this better, but it's also still fiddly to get to what you're looking for. Like, the first thing you always need to know is what are the system requirements? And finding the system requirements is like hunting for a needle in a haystack, unless you got, I guess if I had a good memory. I've been there I don't know how many times lately, but I can't remember where it was and where to get back to it. So that's why I wish they had a search the website, on here. Yeah, the graphical installation interface is recommended method for installing Fedora. However, in some cases, accessing the graphical interface directly is difficult or impossible. Some systems lack capability. Connect to a display and a keyboard. Oh yeah, this is like you were doing remote installs. Making VNC unnecessary for manual non-kickstart installations. Okay. To allow manual installations on a headless system without directly connected display, keyboard and mouse, the Anaconda installation program includes a virtual network computing VNC mode. I didn't know that. You know what? I did know that and I forgot. I remember reading it before now. Allows the graphical mode of the installation program to run locally but display on another system connected to the network. That would be cool for me for making my videos. Not that I don't have a machine that I can't put a mouse and keyboard on, but the VNC installation provides with a full range of installation options. Okay. This chapter provides instructions on activating VNC mode on the installation system and connecting to it using VNC Viewer. Let's see how hard it looks, because I may want to do that on this Smiley Gateway. First, you got to install it. Okay. I quit reading out loud, didn't I? Okay. Performing the VNC installation requires a VNC Viewer running on your workstation or another terminal computer. Now, see, I read that, but I don't know what it said. That's why I quit reading out loud half the time, because I'm starting to lose concentration. Viewers are available in repositories of most Linux distributions. FreeVN, yeah, they are. Vane or Fedora. Oh, or Windows. Yeah, you could do it from Windows, I guess, couldn't you? Just if you're going to do it on VNC. Okay, the following viewers are available: Tiger VNC, Vinegary, a viewer for Genome desktop environment installed as the Vinegary package. Basic viewer independent of your desktop environment installed as Tiger VNC package. KRDC, that's the viewer. I use KRFB. To set up, you know, my easily in the graphic user interface, set up the server, and it uses Tiger VNC server though. That's what it does. Viewer integrated with KDE environment installs as KDIN at work KRDC package. But that's just the viewer. Now, to install any of the viewers listed above, execute the following commands: as root dnf install package. Well, usually they do something to let you know that. I mean, I know what that means, but if you're brand new, that would probably throw me off for a bit. Usually they like put some quote marks around it or something, or even put package name, you know, or something on there, and put it. Well, but if you do put the, sometimes it's hard to figure out the best way to write this out to make sense to people, because if you put the quotation marks on there, then it makes you think sometimes those are actually needed. If it's a group install, for instance, you know, it'll be like KDE desktop, and you have to have it in quotes, you know. So I don't know. Anyway, performing the VNC installation. Okay, now this is getting too long. I mean, I may want to do this, but maybe I'll read this on my own time here instead of the video time. Let's see, skip on down. Yeah, it tells you exactly how to do this. Now, the cool thing about it would be, I know it's, right now it's really interesting to me. Let's see, direct mode, connect mode. Yeah, if you got a firewall running, make sure you open it up. I always forget that when I'm trying to do that in my video. Oh, you gotta. So you got to go into the edit the boot menu to get that to happen in the regular. So yeah, I'd have to have this open and follow the instructions. Can put a password in it. Don't use your real password. Make a temporary password that you know that'll be gone when you're done. Okay, so I have never stopped, and I think I've seen a bit of that and never stopped and really looked at it. And as you can see, it's quite involved, but definitely something I want to do. That's what I've been thinking. This is it, not for the reason that I don't have access. I didn't click on what I meant to click on, but I'm going to send that to myself. That's good. I'm going to send it to my emails. Yeah, that'll be good. Then if I'm on any other machine, I'll be able to get to it. What I was trying to do is save this page. get rid of all those extra weird characters. So I don't even remember. I never do remember how to make that straight up and down line on the keyboard. But if you're saving something that you want to open up later, a lot of times they'll get, when you save a web page, you know, in Firefox, sometimes they'll different, like for instance, Windows will put a percent sign in every space when you go open it up, and it gets really hard to read the title. And some browsers or just whatever you're trying to do, sometimes it won't work. The program won't work. And I have VTZilla scan everything I download, and then if I want to see the report, I can go over there and click on that. The add-on VTZilla virus total. Sometimes it does that. It opens up the page and it doesn't show up. If you reload it, it'll show up. Didn't expect it to be bad, but okay, so that's still not what I'm looking for, is it? Okay, so I guess I really picked the wrong place to go. Installation guide. That's Fedora magazine. Okay, get Fedora. Okay, that's probably where I want to go then. Let's see. Okay, this is the main page for downloading Fedora server. I always search for REQ for requirements. I can't remember how to spell requirements hardly ever. But it's not on this page, so sometimes if you just look for the word system, you'll find it. If you click on download, it's just gonna, yeah, I think it'll just start to download. And there's the remote administration called Cockpit. That's what they're talking about there. Yeah, right there. That's great. It doesn't do everything I need to do, though. And on my machines, you know, my single core Acceleron's there. In order to use Cockpit, you got to open it. You go to a certain IP address in your in your web browser, and so that. And if you're on that machine, you know, like I said, I don't turn it on remotely, only locally, because I'm afraid it's too much of a security risk for me. So I have used it on the local machine, and it's the only easy way to get to a lot of real big, you know, certain details of the server. But it also works the machine really hard to use it, and it's real slow, you know, waiting on everything to open up. But if you're on a machine like this one and you open it up remotely, then you know it wouldn't be, it'd be fast. But, and it's a great convenience for sure. And like I said, you still a lot of regular stuff. You know, there's a terminal. You can have a remote terminal, but I don't want to install and uninstall in the terminal. If I'm going to install something, I just do it in the GUI. So. System requirements. I'm going to copy that so I won't quit having to type it over and over. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. I think I actually spelled it right. I'm just going to do that to see if I spelled it wrong. Yes, I did. No, I want system requirements. For what? Okay. Did they tell me to spell it wrong? Just try Google. Sometimes I forget that that's half the time. Whatever they did you mean REQIRMENTS? REQIR. REQ there seems to be some discrepancy here between. Let's see what the deal is with that. There's places I've been to before right there. I don't know. Well, there must be two ways to spell a very similar word. Okay, well, that's not it. Where is it? Well, this is not the page I was just on. There we go. Okay. Wasn't where I thought it was. I don't remember how to spell it, so I'm just gonna. Well, I was here a while ago, though, wasn't I? That's how I got the installation guide. Is it going to be in this release notes? I don't think so. System Administrator's Guide. Yeah, this is ridiculous. What's the difference between requirement, REQUIREMENT, REQU? I think that's right. Okay, yeah, now it's not asking me. It kept asking me if I wanted this or that. And, now maybe, okay. Minimum system configuration, okay. Configuration. Why don't they just say system requirements like everybody else has for the last 20 years? Okay, that's one of the reasons why I couldn't find it. The figures below recommended minimum installation. If you do the minimum, you won't want to use that system. I'll tell you that. Okay, may differ, of course. Okay, 1 gigahertz or faster processor. Oh, 1 gig system memory. That's what I thought. 10 gigabyte. Oh, okay, 10 gigabytes minimum. I thought it was more than that for the operating system. Low memory installations can be installed. Some applications, text, VNC, or Kickstart installations are advised over graphical for systems with low memory. Larger package sets require more memory during installation to use less than 768. Oh, that's what it is, 768. That's three. I think. Okay, let's get out the calculator. I'm not good at doing math. I used to could do that in my head, but I can't anymore. It would come on. $256, yeah, 768, not 748. I had a weird feeling that I was saying something wrong every time I said that. Or did I say 768? That I wouldn't expect them to say. It says, for the best results on less than 1 gig, use the DVD installation image. You got to have 800 by 600 or higher resolution. Still hasn't said anything about the different versions, so I'm thinking that maybe I'll get down there to it where it says like headless or whatever. Genome 3, you got to have that what is it saying? Oh, and KDE. Yeah. So you can't use the KDE Plasma or Genome 3 without at least this. Or the Intel, or NVIDIA, or Radeon. That's what I was trying to remember. Radeon. I always remember it as the AMD because as Radeon uses, if I remember right, Radeon uses AMD processor. So I always remember it as the AMD graphics card. CPU generated graphics. Oh, okay. And then it goes into that. So yeah, here's finally the page. It really tells you everything. Okay, I better put that it system requirements. It's not specifically i386. Y'all never find it again because it doesn't even, the title is nothing about system requirements. Fedora 28 release notes. That's all that it showed. Welcome to Fedora 28 hardware overview. That's what it says. Okay. Now then. Oh, let's see. DNF. Oh, that's the group list stuff. DNF group be hidden. So and so. Telling you how to do the group stuff. DNF group install KDE Plasma Workspaces. And that's what I was talking about. It's KDE space Plasma space Workplaces in parentheses. We'll install KDE Desktop. They're calling it Workspaces now. They used to just call it KDE Desktop. Or use the short group name for group install. Oh, so I guess it still works. The app mate desktop environment like that. But so I was, and when I was building my scripts, I was going back and forth on, okay, why do I see this and this format, you know? And I just thought, well, this is the old way, but this is Fedora 28 information that's saying that'll work. Well, they went off from. Oh, it just says choosing desktop environment for your hardware. Okay. And that is great. This is what I did. We made my group install script out of using, well, it just tells you go to group list vhidden, grab desktop. Oh, that's just for desktop. So if you wanted to know other types of apps like, I don't know, word processing or something, it'd have to be the right command, though. You can't just pick anything and put right there. Oh, and you got to use that up and down line that I don't know how to type. I figured it out once in a while. Because I think on my keyboard, oh yeah, my keyboard, it's, I think it's 2 short lines. Yeah, it is. It's not one straight line. That's why I couldn't find it. Let's see. Okay, so if this is the right one, no, it's the wrong one. I can't see. I lost a spot. My eyes are getting really blurry. Where is it? I was looking straight at it. There it is. It's right above. No. Oh, well, I didn't get the shift held down. What did I do now? I opened up the wrong. Go away. Okay, now. Control find. Get rid of you. Oh, I was hitting enter instead of shift. There it is. There's a straight up and down line. But on my keyboard, you hit shift. Well, it's the one right. You know, the backslash. But it shows two separate lines. With, you know, instead of one long line like you're getting, my keyboard shows 2 separate lines on top, straight up and down, on top of each other. So I never can remember. I can't remember. I mean, if I can't remember, I can't remember, and so if I don't see it, then I'm lost. But somehow I did. I always can't remember because I just now remembered it. What? Okay. Anyway, that's pretty good right there. And so that's what I had thought. So basically, if you really want to try to run it on, they're saying 768. Let's see. But I've got 512. So I don't know that it'd be worth On that machine, that smaller gateway only has 2 memory slots, so I can't put another 256 in it and make it 768. So setting it up with Fedora, unless I know I'm going to put the memory in it, it's really probably not worth the time. I think it would run, I'm not going to go spend forever looking up Debian, but I think it would probably run, I know it would run Debian 7 or something like that, or 8 probably. 9, I'm not sure. 9's the newest Debian right now. I'm not sure if it would run Debian 9 or not. Oh, my preview's playing on the laptop over there. And it's getting tired of it. It's getting warmed up. The fan came on. So I'll pause it for a bit. I think I'll close the web browser too. Help it cool down quicker. And this is right when I actually need the preview because I'm fixing to switch cameras and stuff. I need to look over there. Okay, so this is not the page. They have it in another section, like when you're downloading. There is a quick, like, let's see. What's this? The VNC thing, I really would like, well, I don't think I'm going to, like I said, I don't think I'm going to install that right now, so let's do it. Here's, oh, that's the old docs. I keep talking about the old docs. Here's the Fedora old docs. This is what it looks like. And in some ways, it's pretty cool. Like that right there will take you to different. You see, the newest distro is Fedora 26, and they changed to, see, next. If you want to just, but you can't, again, you can't search it and get to the right page. You can search it with Google. I have done that kind of thing before. Like, I used to know the command in Google to, it's kind of weird. I don't guess you really need it anymore. If you just like put in that right there, doc, you know, and then put a space and then put whatever it is you're looking for, you'll probably get to it. Now that searches Google up there, my little search bar. You'd probably find it. But this would be for older, but it's still the same. See, 1 gigahertz processor, 1 gig of RAM, 10 gig of storage. Weird thing is I've seen updated stuff in here, even though this is the old, let's see, that's under Fedora 20. So actually, I guess its RAM requirements haven't really grown, and processor requirements haven't really grown since Fedora 20. Yeah, see, they used to, you had to put like, you had to put, to search within a website. I mean, that didn't actually search within the website. Well, so far, all the top results, I mean, I think if you keep on going, yeah. So that did, well, now it went to wiki. But if you put like, I can't remember if you do it like this, like put that in there and then put colon, it may only search. I think you have to put website. You got to put the word website in there. Yeah. Yeah, that didn't change the search actually any whatsoever. You would think that you would put it like this. But I think that fouls it up. Website colon. The Google has gotten so good that you can hardly mess up your search results. Get Fedora.org. That might be the page I was actually looking for in the first place. That works. Well, anyway, so it's not actually necessary. I mean, you're going to pretty much get what you're looking for just by doing that right there. Oh, now that took me, that was the other get Fedora.org. Let's see. I didn't think system requirements were on that first page. Oh, that's where I was, and that's how okay, so see, that did work. And that took me to here, which I've been to over and over during this search. Okay, so there you go. Maybe you don't go running around like I do with that, but even with all the bookmarks that I've saved recently, I couldn't find it again until I finally went back to Google. Lots of people just can't find anything on Google, but I generally do best that way. Laptop is still I gotta reboot it. It's still working itself to death like it's hot. Even though I shut down the. Sometimes rebooting it helps. Sometimes it just goes right back to it's just hot. You know, it needs to cool down. In this particular laptop, it seems like if you shut it down, it'll cool off really quick. It's Dell 6000. The Dell 1525, once it gets hot, shutting it down just really seems to make it hotter. No fan running, and I mean, even if I leave the lid open and everything, leaving the lid open makes a lot of difference because that heat can escape through the keyboard gaps in the around the keyboard and stuff. Anyway, okay, so Debian. Let's just do that. I don't really want my actual all the time server. Now what? Showing results for system requirement. REQURIE. It's C. What's the difference? REQURIE. Wait. EBIN 9. REQURIE MENTS. REQURIE. It's the same. So why does it keep asking me if that's not different? Is it? I depend on this because I see letters and numbers wrong all the time. QUIRE, REQUR. Okay. Well, which one is right? Let's copy the one that I've been using. Search for it. And maybe it'll tell me what's spelled wrong. REQUIREMENT. Okay. All right. That's the word requirement. Okay. I've been making me a folder for words and definitions. Now then, search instead for REQ. No. Well, why does it ask that? If it's wrong, it just goes back and says REQIREMENTS. Maybe it's misspelled so often that Google is just giving you both as if they're both were, you know, people must. REQIREMENTS. REQURIE. That looks wrong to me. That is wrong. Okay, so stop worrying about it. Now, Debian 9 system requirements. REQUIREMENTS. Because it's one of those words that's hard enough that you finally learn it over time. Okay, here we go. Right there. 512 megabyte of RAM, 10 gigabyte hard space, and 1 gigahertz processor. That's the Debian system requirements. All right. This is not Debian's site, but there's the requirements right there. Good. So it would run, that machine would run Debian 9. It's the bottom, the absolute bottom. And that would be with the graphic user interface too. So there's the Debian side. But I would be adding the server to it. Didn't say anything about server there. In Debian, if you do the net install, it's also really easy to set up a server just by clicking the right stuff. But actually, I think you have to do it that way. I don't think you can just... well, actually, no, you can't. If you're in the net install, you can select, I want to set up a server, and it'll install everything you need for a fully functional web server. You know, different types of servers, too, in the web, and at least it has been always that way before. Yeah, the servers have so many variations. But if you just want the basic Apache web server, it's not going to. I know because I've got it running on a 500 megahertz gateway out in the garage. That was my backup server. It is running an older version of Debian though, so it it didn't need as much to start with. Is this, yeah, that's on the Debian side. I just want to make sure we're talking about Debian 9. Yeah, no desktop, 128 megabytes of RAM with desktop 256. But is that really Debian 9? Minimum hardware requirements. I don't know. I mean, I'm not seeing what version of Debian it is, but there you go. And I know that's for a fact on at least on the older versions. I don't see Debian 9. I don't see the word version. This is so small it makes me think this is talking about an older version of Debian. Just says Debian GNU Linux, which is what they call it. That's the full title of it. Okay, so well, I'm going to do that. So I can get back to it. Okay, so I do know that I could just set me up a Debian server on this machine just like it is. So that's definitely what I need to do. Now I have just remembered me log in back into that laptop. Once it gets logged in, well, I mean, I can look on my, okay, I just hit me that, oh my gosh, am I on the camera, instead of the desktop. Bad about doing that kind of thing. Let's see. Okay. There's everything you'd want to know about all that stuff. Installation. Ah, there we go. Oh, that's just telling you what you can use. Probably be pretty easy to use, like UNet booting, and it would download it for you. I think you can still use let's look for download though. Yeah, Debian.org. Make sure you go to Debian.org, not any other website. You may be liable to get a malware instead of a Debian. And it's a little bit different. In some ways, as you can see, you got a lot more on this one page here. Quicker to get to the stuff than multiple pages for Fedora, but I don't think there's as many different versions as Debian either. So, okay, the laptop's quiet after rebooting, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the browser and get ready to be able to preview. Yeah, 64 and 32-bit net install. That's probably what I would want. Try Debian Live. Now, this is just the installation image, though. You can't run it live. So if you want to see what it's going to look like and how well it runs on your system, and you're really just looking for a desktop setup, then one of these would be really good. Either 64, 32-bit, whatever your machine needs. And then a larger complete installation, the DVD ISOs and the CDs. Download them off the torrents, and you can buy them from people that sell them already put on CDs, DVDs. You can do that with Fedora too, I think. Used to, one of them, I think it was Debian, would send you a CD already ready to go. When I was very first starting out, it was kind of, I didn't know very much about all that. I did that once, and they sent you one for free. There was like a nonprofit thing that would do that. And it was really neat. They really wanted to help promote it, and I think it was Debian. And I used it some too, you know. I think they kind of quit doing that because they were dependent entirely on donations, and they didn't get enough, so they just quit doing it. You know, say, well, if you want one, you got to pay for it up front. Oh, and buy a computer with Debian pre-installed. I wonder who sells those. Now I'm getting off. Argentina, Slovakia. Oh, there's all the places. United States. 17. There's the name of the companies that sell them. That's cool. All right, so well, since I'm here, I want the net install because, like I said, I'm almost certain. I'm not going to open it with the archive manager. I want to save it. I usually click on ISOs. I usually go ahead and click on do this automatically because you'll forget, you know, and you'll click on it real quick and it'll open it up in the archive manager, and that'll take a while, you know. I mean, I don't know how. Now, of course, mine's automatically going to get scanned. Already did it went away though, but it automatically should have scanned it with to make sure it's safe. But the little deal went away so that you can click on the results. Last thing that's the web page. But see, it's not real big. The net image is the smallest one. Net install, because it's just the basic stuff to boot up and get the install menu going, and then you download the rest of the system. It is the slowest installer. If you want a fast installer, or like the DVD ones, you can install without even being on the internet. These here, well, if you want to see what it's like first, if you don't know what it's like, and try it out, get the Debian Live. So anyway, yeah, if I put anything on this system here today or in the next day or two, it'll be. I'm not going to put Fedora server on it. I'll just put Debian on it on the smaller gateway. Okay, so. Okay, let's go over here and look at our file. And while that's opening up, I'll go ahead and get to my preview of my live stream over there. Yeah, that's already finished. I did forget. I think somewhere they have the checksums too. I'm surprised they didn't have it right there. Did I miss it somehow? Let's open that back up. Okay, I'm going to pause my preview so I did fix the laptop right up, rebooting it. So I'll pause the there we go. Restore previous session should take me right back to where I was. Let's see. No, check. I don't know. One doesn't have anything about checksums on there. They always used to. Used to have a long explanation about how to do it and everything. Those things aren't completely infallible. They may have changed how they do it now somehow. What I am wondering is how come let's do this. We'll say right click, scan the link. Just do it. As long as I know it ain't infected with viruses. One time that happened with Debian. I don't know if I downloaded one, but yeah, I see in 68 scanners there's 0 problems with that ISO. So make sure you see that it was scanning the ISO and not just a web page. because you know a lot of downloads go to a page or two before they actually go to the file. Not so much with Linux ISOs and stuff, but with other things it does. But anyway, I don't know why that little checker closed so quickly. Usually it stays up, you know, the little butterfly up there that you can click on. Maybe I did something with the mouse that did it. But so it's clean. Now, what I do want to do though is put it in this folder. I'll just make a folder for Debian 9. Well, I'll just make it Debian Linux. Yeah, no, let's do Debian 9. Yeah. Okay. I think what'll happen is let me go to my Fedora 28 installation guide. Oh, yeah. Let's put that in my documents, I guess. Fedora 28 info. Yeah, I'm just going to move that over there. Whoops. Yeah. Okay, now if I go to my backup drive, there it is. It's one of the last folders written to. Debian. Okay, I just have a Debian folder and then I have a Debian 9 folder. Ah, okay. So, really, I mean, it would automatically back up, but it's just kind of easier to just do it now. Let's see. I'm going to hit synchronize since I don't know if I already have a file like that in there. Looks like I might. No. Okay. So I didn't have that version anyway. Okay. So it gets to be, I've always tried to like make the folder structure the same, and so that when my backup runs, you know, it doesn't end up with extra folders and stuff. Because it gets confusing if you don't, but it also gets to be a pain to keep up with doing that. So really, the simplest thing to do now that I have it over there is to delete the one I just downloaded, even though I went to all that trouble to. But the nice thing about having it on this machine is I can write from this without the backup drive, and you know sometimes you need that. Right at the moment, I'm going to leave it as it is. It's going to be kind of funky, but I guess I don't. Wait a minute. What do I have to do? Okay, Debian. Is that all I have to do? Oh, I see. Debian. Debian. Okay, here we go. Let's rename this. That's all we really have to do. The rename used to be over here, right next to make directory, and it's not anymore. Now, make a new folder. It's really confusing. That's how I did it in the backup. Debian 9. Now I'll move it over there. I couldn't resist. Okay. Right click, open with. Let's see what's available on here. XF burn, disk image viewer, boxes. Oh, really? I don't think that would work. That's that virtual box thing. I don't think I have UNet booting. I don't have anything on here to I'm still not sure. Let's see. Oh, one thing I've been meaning to check on. I was thinking, what should I use the software app or well, I don't want to open app or it doesn't work right and it causes trouble. What I was wondering is Dragora. Now it still has to. It's still going to look for updates, even though I've got my automatic updates set up. And it doesn't have settings to allow you to change the behavior either. Can I make it bypass that? Switch it over to all, see what happens. It may lock the program up or something. If I want it to just be on all, because then I don't have to wait twice for it to scan for updates and then scan for all. Because if you're stuck in updates and then you search for an app, it shows nothing every time, and it's so frustrating because you're like, what the heck? Especially because none of the other app managers behave like that. I mean, well, I think they were defaulted like that, but then you could change it, and it would honor your changes. You know? Let's see. I can't type in the window yet. It's not done yet, even though it looked like it was. There, finally. No, it took what I tried to type. Not update. Dependencies. Yeah. I'll just put depend because I can't remember how to spell dependencies right now. Depend. Nope. Try, oh, because I'm in file names. Descriptions. Summaries. File names takes forever. What I'm wondering is if you actually have to install some things that'll make it search better for dependencies in DNF. It was always in there by default with Yum and everything, and I thought it was. I don't remember in Fedora 23 it uses DNF. I don't remember having to do it in there either. I have 3 different types of. They're not allergy pills. They're cold pills because the problems with the drainage I have and everything. The allergy pills don't cut it. Well, that and the 2 best allergy pills that I have found also are once a day only, and if you take them more than once, your nose will bleed. Mine will, so I can't. Okay, so I take cold pills. Anyway, I took one of them, one type, and the other 2 types. It doesn't matter which one. I always have a problem one way or the other, but this one has not. I took it way earlier now. I guess maybe I could try another one. I just hate to. It hasn't stopped it yet. I thought it would. Depend. I'm going to try looking for depend. I don't remember if it's depend ENC or ANC. So yeah, hitting enter doesn't do anything. I'm trying not to get mad, but this thing infuriates me. It's just the worst program to work in. Okay. Can I search? Yeah, you can search. Okay, you can start. Click in the where the results is to start typing, and it'll do a quick search. Okay. Yeah, manage your fork from Yum using libsolve dependency resolver. Okay, so it should libsolve dependency. So it should be resolving the dependencies all by itself. Package man. Oh, depackage. That's for Debian. Well, we don't want that on here. I did that before. Installed things that would allow me to install Debian packages, and I used to do that years ago because I didn't know. Well, I did read and find out that well, it may work and it may not. Well, it half and half. Half the time they'd work and half the time they wouldn't. So it just you get your system all full of kind of half messed up apps, and I've already done that already. I couldn't believe it. It's a brand new system. Okay, so I don't see anything else that's going to have to do. Even see all that results. Well, there's Yum. Let's see what. Now, there is one thing. You can install Yum Package Manager, but it's going to default back to but there are some plugins and stuff that I don't think are available yet in DNF. It's still too new. Check automatically download, install Yum packages, depends are obtained, download automatically, prompt user, okay, yeah. Prompting the user for permission if necessary. Now that's both Yum, you know, the different architectures or versions. In this case, it's no architecture, but there's what is the difference here? 517, 516, 517. So that's the newer one. Young plugin remove with leaves. That's a plugin. I only see, well, I'm not, if I was searching for Yum, I should see a bunch of plugins. Removes any unused dependencies where they were brought by install and whatnot. Normally removed. It helps to keep the system clean of unused libraries. That could be useful. I think you have to run the commands, though. That zero install looked really interesting, but I never saw it work very good. Easy for users to install software without needing root privileges. And you can pretty much install them from anywhere. So that could end up being, you could get some bad stuff that could mess up your system too. So, but even with me not liking DNF, I don't know if I tried to use it because there was sometimes I wanted to install something that's not in the repos, and I wanted to do it easily without having to, you know, do make and all that stuff. But I really never had much luck with it. I only had a few things installed. But anyway, let's try Yum. I'm going to search just for Yum. I think I am. Okay. And, yeah, see, now there's a whole bunch. I didn't want to install anything for Yum since you really have to stick with DNF. I mean, I didn't want a bunch of extra stuff. 517, that's it right there. So there's Yum, the main portion. You got to have that first if you were going to start using it. Check the cache on the network, download accelerator plugin. I used to use stuff like that. Update manager. I don't need that. I've got my updates working. I don't want to jack it up. I don't want them both trying to update the system. That's the thing. Used to have to install a lot of this, daily cron jobs and all this stuff to get your automatic updates going. Let's see. Lang packs. What's that? Language? Yeah, your language. Fastest mirror. Did I see that? No, that's something else. There's one for fastest mirror. Automatically fastest mirror. Oh, automatically snapshot your system. There's one, that might be the one. That might not be the one. There's one that, oh no, yeah, local mirror. That will fill up your hard drive fast. And you better have a really big hard drive. This one's different. It'll actually give you a way to go back if you mess something up. It's kind of like system restore in Windows kind of thing. I never used it. I had it installed, but I never used it. I don't think I ever needed to. That one, well, I didn't quite catch on which running processes are associated. I didn't know associated was with all C's. I thought it was ASSOC. I think it is. I don't know. With packages, and if they need rebooting or have updates. Okay. Anyway. Shows newly installed packages. Test flags. Transaction flags. Help with upgrades. This is all the older Yum. Everything to do with Yum is not. I mean, it's just anything. You could run these, but it would go through DNF. So, spacewalk support. Okay, I don't I don't remember what Spacewalk is. Spacewalk server. I don't know what it is though. Update notification daemon. Oh, via email or syslog or dbus. Okay. Yum utils. There you go. Now these are pretty good. I used to get those. Utilities for different, making Yum easier, more powerful. Yeah, I used to always install that, and that helped a lot. But like I said, DNF, hit enter, doesn't do nothing. Let's see if there's any. I don't think I did a search for just DNF, so let's see. Okay, yeah, it's already done. Okay, DNF automatic I already have. That's what's making my updates work. Automatic updates. What did I just click on? I don't know why that does it sometimes. I did not click 3 up. Okay, anyway, alternative CLI to DNF upgrade, suitable for automatic regular execution. So that's what you install. Also, you know, if you want to do upgrades, yeah, you need it for that too. But to do, well, what I gathered when I was reading it, it handles both updates, you know, daily updates, and upgrades when the newest Fedora would come out, automatic upgrades. Configuration files, I think those come with DNF, you know. There's that spacewalk again. Core plugins. Okay, so I got some plugins already. Okay, yeah. So you don't. I wouldn't want to duplicate all that with the Yum plugins. Okay, DNF utils. Now, I don't have DNF utils. Oh. But it's DNF, Yum utils using DNF. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, now what's this? Okay, already got that. CLI compatibility layer. I think that was already with it. Dbus daemon, package act for yeah, I think that's probably something it has to have. SC Linux integration, I'm pretty sure that was already in there. That is DNF Dragor. This is the package manager. Now this is the package manager that I'm using right now that I can't stand. It comes with Fedora 28. It used to be RPM Drake, I see. And I have not, I've tried 2 other ones. I've tried, you know, package manager. See, the package manager just a GUI for accessing DNF. It's a command line app, you know, so is Yum. Yum extender, you know, and Apper, and the one that's just called software. And I have Apper and software on here, but well, let's see, Apper won't even work right, and the whole window doesn't even show up for some reason. That's why I'm thinking, is there dependencies missing when I did the install? What happened? You know, it couldn't be. Why would they have it in the repos if it's that bad, messed up? So, actually, the software, one called software, as far as I know, it works fine. But when I had weird software problems after using it, I thought, did that cause it? You know. Okay, now this one is update notifier for Dragora. Okay, that's the one that keeps coming up. ETC Keeper. I tried that once years ago, and it didn't work right. It was supposed to. The ETC file has configuration for your system in there. Mounting the ETC folder has files in it to do with. Let's go all the way to. I don't know if I can go in there or not. Yeah, ETC folder. You can go in there, and it has all these folders and files about your system configuration. And so what this app does is FS tab is the one about, that's what I was thinking. FS tab is the one about mounting it. I think you can view it, but you can't edit it as a regular user. This is what's automatically mounted when my system boots. My backup drive, of course, when well, that's actually not my backup drive. That's my root, and then this is my home, and there's the swap. Now I've been getting errors about some sort of swap not mounting properly, and you can't just go access swap. The system uses it, you know. So I don't know if there's something. It looks, I mean, well, there wouldn't be any. There's no readout in here. I mean, this is just telling the system what to do. But I got to figure out if that's not working right. Your system wouldn't work good because you need that swap. It's like the Windows temp folder, you know, where all your temporary files get written. I can't think of the right word, but anyway, the etc keeper is supposed to watch all that, and it would help you manage, you know what's going on and manage automatically anything you need to manage in there. Normally you don't need to, though, but if you broke something, the reason, from what I remember, it's been a long time now, but when I remember, I installed it thinking, okay, if I break my system, I can go in here and run this command, the etc keeper, and get back to where, get that file, the stuff back in there, back where it was before it broke. But it kept having errors and not running right, and so I fiddled with it, and then finally just quit messing with it. But then it's one of those things, once you install it, a lot of things are that way. Once you install them and you say uninstall it, you know, just go in here and DNF in this case and say uninstall, it's going to install a bunch of stuff that you need for other packages and other programs in your system. And so I ended up just keeping them half the time. Some things you can install fine, it doesn't, its dependencies aren't shared with anything else. And used to in Yum, it used to say these are shared with other applications. Do you want to keep them, or well, you can probably, it says you could probably uninstall them and it'll be fine, but we're not 100% sure. So what do you want to do? Keep these dependencies or uninstall them? Well, you could just say keep them, and that's the safest thing to do, right? Because you might break your system if you uninstall them, and if you don't know, right? So that's going away, or I can't find it, or maybe it's a plug-in for Yum. You know, of course, now we're doing DNF, so I can't find a way to get that back, but that was really helpful to be able to say, now, if you got one choice, uninstall it or not uninstall it, because I saw that after I installed Apper and it wouldn't work right. Now, so anyway, etc keeper, it may work wonderfully now. It's been, I don't remember how long ago it was, 2, 3, 4 years ago, you know, when I had it on my system. I think I had it on my Fedora 14. I don't think I ever put it on my Fedora 23 system. I kind of think that's the case. Let's see. Fedora package repositories. Oh, I didn't know there was a package to repository files for your Yum and DNF along with GPG public keys. Oh, okay. So yeah, that came with the system. You don't want to take that out for sure. Fedora upgrade. Now see, this is different than Fedora automatic. That's the Fedora upgrade package. I don't think they tell you to use that anymore. I think you'd have to read up on that. But libdnf, all that lib stuff is usually dependencies, and you don't want to usually you don't just go install anything that starts with lib on its own. I mean, sometimes if you're reading something telling you how to do something, it may tell you to do that. And that's development files anyway. If you're not doing any developing, you wouldn't need that. Let's see, what is that? Micro DNF. I don't know what micro DNF is. Wonder. I don't know if I hit that link or not. There's something weird going on because my hand is not shifting when I click my left mouse button to click on something. The cursor is jumping. I already had that open, didn't I? Oh, I did get it, because there it is. I already had it open. Okay, so let's see what micro DNF is. Because it might be something I want. A minimal DNF for mostly Docker containers. Oh, okay. I'll just put this in. If I have a software Linux, I'll put it in there. Okay. So I wouldn't want that. And then mirror list, serving mirrors to Yum DNF. Serving mirrors. Well, let's see what it is. Mirror Manager. As a rewriter of Mirror Manager using Flask. Track of nearly 400 public mirrors and over 300 private mirrors that carry Fedora, EPEL, real, and real content. Real is Red Hat, Enterprise Linux. EPL, I forgot. Used by RPM Fusion and third-party repositories. Automatically selects the best mirror for a given user base on a... okay. That's the fastest mirror plugin, basically, or the new version of it. What does it say? That hacking with Vagrant. Don't know. Oh, I guess it's telling you how to do that. And it would actually made a huge difference using it before in Yum using fastest mirror. So let's go ahead. Legacy free OS images. Oh, I don't know. Why would you want GP? Oh, GPT is the new disk label, and MBR is the old way. Yeah, and actually, I don't even think that I'm using the EFI way now on this system with Fedora. I think I'm using the BIOS, so I wouldn't want that. That's to make only EFI type bootable images. Okay. Python interface, that's already there. Kickstart plugin for DNF. Install packages listed in a Kickstart file. Oh. That would be pretty cool. I mean, I do it, but now here I go. Oh, that'll be cool. Let's put it on there. And then I'll select 4 or 5 things, and then they'll end up conflicting with each other. Leaves plugin. List install package is not required by any other install package. Basically, that I think that would be listing orphan file, orphan packages. That's what they one of the things they always called it. Here's one that used to be called local mirror, or it's similar to it, but put them on a local repository. That's really would be cool, but it could also you got to have a lot of space to do that. Migrate plugin. From Yum to DNF. Okay, now we're getting really technical. Snapper. Creates a snapshot of every transaction. That would probably get to using some space too, but that's not the same thing as a local mirror of all your packages. System upgrade plugin. Don't think I need that. I think that's another part of that. The old way they used to upgrade. If you wanted to upgrade your system instead of reinstalling it. Tracer plugin. Okay, that finds outdated running application on your system. Every transaction. Huh. Yeah, but what do you do with it? It's pretty interesting. I don't know if I want to put that on there and just, like I just said, I'm getting too many things to try to do at once. Core plugins for DNF. I think I'll leave that one alone because there was another one that was like the plugins for DNF. Core plugins for DNF. Python. Okay. Okay, now yeah, there's a lot more to go through here, isn't there? Seems like I'm seeing the same names again, like Leaves and Kickstart. System upgrade. I think they're just not all together in the order. Tor proxy plugin, huh? Use Tor. That could get you into a lot of work making all that, keeping all that working. Tor is like an anonymity proxy. So with Fedora and all, I wouldn't worry about it with Fedora. But anyway, RPM Fusion. Now there's the free and non-free RPM Fusion that I did right at the beginning with my install script. So the ones I'm going to install, let's just go ahead and do them. I'm not going to be able to group them together, I don't think. Like, you know, I like to do a screenshot of what I'm going to install, but I'll just click install. Now there we go, I can get a screenshot there. It's not too big, but we're going to DNF utils, mirror manager, Python DNF plugin for Kickstart. Okay, mirror manager 2, another one. I don't know. These are all dependencies. Python, plugin extras, Kickstart. Okay, so now I don't think I clicked on any duplicates, so I think I'm okay. Okay. I think I'm actually getting hungry. I guess it's no wonder it's 5. I was just kind of getting started, you know, and here it is 5 in the morning, and I started at, I don't know, I thought I started at like 11. I could not have been streaming. No, because I've only been streaming like, okay, that counter's always wrong. It starts at -1 hour, so it says an hour, 14 minutes, so it's 2 hours and 14 minutes. So I must have started way, way later than I thought I did in the night. But I'm getting to the point where it won't be long I'm going to need to eat a supper. Eat something, do something. Need a break too. I started noticing it a while ago, probably 20 minutes ago, and then I kind of forgot about it. I wanted to get right on to putting the fan in the other machine, but heck, I might as well break. This might as well be the software portion, and that might as well be the hardware portion. Not second video, you know. Okay, still installing that stuff. I'll let it finish installing. And I think since I'm doing all that, I'll close that. I didn't realize how much I had to run in here. Now let's close that too. Got to watch how much I'm running on this machine when I'm making a video. I haven't turned on my preview again. Did it finish? It'll say 100%, but it's, yeah, it says down at the bottom left, it says applying 11 of 12. So it's 100% downloaded, I guess, but it ain't finished. It sure ain't. I've noticed lately in the last month or so, I used to speak a lot more proper. I didn't even say that right. And not do as much as my normal slang talk making my videos. I just kind of did it automatically because I knew I was making a video, but I guess I'm so comfortable with making the videos now that I forget that I'm trying to talk in a way somebody could understand me. sometimes, especially when I'm kind of really tired or something, I kind of mumble, like that. that I noticed it one time years ago that that old TV cartoon, that nighttime cartoon, King of the Hill. There was a guy on there that was mumble. He was a Southern guy that would mumble, and I thought, you know what? Half the time that's the way I sound when I talk. And never really thought about it. But and the funniest thing was, I almost always understood the guy. That's what really made me realize it. I was like, hey, I understand that guy better than the lead character. And it was supposed to be funny, but it was normal to me. So yeah, if you're from Texas and that's mumbling is, I guess I never realized it. Mumbling may be part of your vocabulary. So it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. Well, I haven't got my fastest mirror installed yet. It's being installed. But I'll tell you what, I was just noticing in the since I got Fedora 23 and was using Yum Extender, how fast it was installing stuff. Well, now it's way slower than I ever remember. I mean, I don't remember what it said now. It's a very small amount of files, and it's just seems to be taking forever to download them and install them in this Fedora. But yeah, if I can find something else that works better, I will start using it. So far, that software, it works okay. It's still not my... I think it still doesn't find everything. Although it is easier to search with because you don't have to keep clicking that drop-down list and trying every different way of searching. At least in Yum Extender, DNF Yum Extender, and was in Fedora 23. You could search. You could tell it to search all the different ways, by name, by description, by whatever, all at once. And you can hit enter to search. So having to get off your keyboard and grab your mouse and click search. So it's not done yet. Or is it? That's something else. Okay, I guess that's another thing. I think it is done. And when it's done, it doesn't come up with saying finished or anything like that. It goes back. You see that little bit of a blue line over there. It looks like it's getting ready to do something. And it's at 0%. And so I said, like I think I'm doing it right now. I'm thinking it's not done when it is. But if you just hit quit, I see those are not able to select. Of course, they wouldn't be because they wouldn't be because if it's already done, right? So I can hit quit and that's it. And if you hit quit and it's not finished, because it'll sit here and look just like that as far as I can remember when it's in the middle of still doing things. So I guess I'll leave it running for a second and see. Well, none of this stuff is things that you can actually, they're not graphic user apps. They're mostly just plugins for DNF. Yeah, see, there's not going to be anything new in there in the graphic applications. Of course, XFC App Finder, some things don't actually get found until after you reboot, though. Not usually, but look in here and see. They'll find them in your system or your applications if it did do anything. That's not going to show up. It needs to, the XFC App Finder needs to scan, the system. It's pretty fast, but it still does need to scan the system to find stuff. So I say till after reboot, it might really just be a matter of time. I don't think there's anything. I don't know. Let's see. System. I don't guess DNF is actually. Let's deconfig editor. It's not even listed in here under System Tools. It's only listed up there under. Right there. As an apper, I keep wanting to open that and see if it'll work again. But actually, when I opened it, it seemed to make the system not run good until I rebooted. So I'm not going to do it. The other one is called software. I don't know where it is in here. Maybe it's right there in the system. There it is, right there. That one seems to work fine. Uh, but when I used it to install Fedora Media Writer, I thought, well, maybe it didn't work right, you know. But Fedora Media Writer, let's see. Let's see what it shows if I gotta click. Oh, we're not gonna find it. Sometimes you have to do like that or something to find stuff. What about summaries? Okay, it works that way. Oh, that aggravates me. Oh, why is it not showing up as if it was installed at all in DNF? x86-64. Well, what did I install then? Then there's, what is the mean? There's 32 and 64. Huh. I think those are separate apps. Because this one's Ming W64 and this is Media Writer. I'm going to do them one at a time. Maybe that other one that's not working right. Uh-oh. That don't look right. Transaction failure. Okay. So that's not working. What about this one? Oh, wow. 89 megabytes. Huh. Let's wait on that because I just remembered. I've been wanting UNet booting. I'm going to go ahead and install that because maybe there's something. UNet booting. Maybe it's boot in. Let's try it that way. Yeah, it is UNet boot in. Okay. Now, I'm going to install those because I actually going to need that UNet booting for running and stop putting that Debian on a stick. Where's the? I don't see it. It did grow though, but okay. So it should be getting them both. See if it's slow. If it's as slow as it seemed a while ago, that's 90 megabytes before. I think it was 30 or something. It doesn't take long to download it. So that other app, I could be having a clue there. Maybe it actually installed the old. Okay, I just remember there's Fedora Media Writer, and that's the old version, and then there's Media Writer. I saw that somewhere. Oh, I think I saw it in my Fedora 23 server because it had them both. Or I had just looked, maybe I had just looked at Fedora Media Writer in Fedora 14, and it's called Fedora Media Writer, and then I saw it somewhere, and it's just called Media Writer, the new one. So maybe I actually had installed yeah, Fedora Media Writer. That's what I have. Okay. So maybe that's why it's old and it's not working good on Fedora 28. Maybe that's the mystery to that. So maybe I can uninstall it without breaking anything else. It'll drive me crazy. I'll always open it up because I learned it as Fedora Media Writer. Bet you that's the older version. Some of those apps, well, of course, that one's not working right, but Fedora, one of the new features in Fedora servers is there's a way to set it up to where you can run old and new apps on your server, and so that you can have the new stuff when you need it and the old dependable stuff when you need it. And I'm going to try to learn about that. I might, if I like it, I might go so far as to setting up my desktop on, you know, Fedora server platform. Okay, so it downloaded it all. There's UNet booting right there. It's installing it. So I'm definitely far off from the direction I thought I was going right away, but this is all. I think I'm getting somewhere, as in it looks like I'm getting somewhere, as in figuring out what was wrong with Fedora Media Writer. I had the wrong one. I need UNet booting to burn or to write Debian or any other distros besides Fedora onto my USB sticks. Thing is, I'm doing it well. I'm doing this and I'm not getting it all wrote down. You know what? But that's that's not so bad because I can just make for myself anyway. I can make an installed apps list and make a script out of that off of this system. But of course, like I said, that'll end up being too much stuff. That'll have all the things I install with groups and everything else. It'll be too much stuff for Mom's system. But it'd be great for me if I built another system for myself. But yeah, these, well, of course, from Media Writer and stuff, I probably she don't really need. But there's some of these things that I come across and go ahead and just install them. And sometimes I don't think, or sometimes I don't even, I don't want to stop and write it down at that moment. And there are things that, I would want to be putting on Mom's system. So, I don't know. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. Okay, now what's it doing? Is it done? I'm trying to learn what it does when it's finished, but I usually never sit here and watch it. I'm usually off in another screen or even on another computer. It's still got the little ball spinning and the screen kind of went white. The information down there in the bottom section went away. But it's still, there we go. If that little ball's spinning, then what the heck? It's just endlessly paging the... Why is it doing that? That's unusual and really weird. Okay, it quit. When I grabbed the bar and pulled it up, with it down at the, maybe it's still actually paging because there's that many because I have it in all. Could be. I think it was really and truly paging through the, there's thousands and thousands of apps. I think that's what it was doing. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so I think it's done. Now let's go see, before I even close that. There's UNet booting. All I see is Fedora Media Writer. Well, that doesn't mean it's not there. Okay, so that's the one that I already have. The one that I just installed, I've already forgot what it was called. Guess I can search for it again. But I will have to, probably ought to stop that preview over there. Well, I know it's supposed to be one word, so I did it one word this time. Didn't I just find it? MEDIAWRITER. I thought I had just found it in, I guess I found it in summaries. Oh, now, when I installed it that's what I was wondering. Ming GW64 Media Writer. Now, Media Writer, just plain old. Well, that says Fedora Media Writer up there. Every one of them, Fedora Media Writer. But now it's installed. So... But I'm still wondering, though, is there more than one Media Writer? Let's look in the actual list. You can hit keyboard. I'm hitting M, and it'll do that. accessories, system tools. It's not going to be in programming. Other, internet. Nope. I'm just going through everything now because I don't know where it might be. Oh, it might be under Fedora Media Writer. The other one would be, yeah, Fedora Media Writer right there. I don't think there is another media writer on here, so unless it shows up like once in a while, things don't show up till actually after a reboot. Okay, now there it is, the same one. That part worked fine. Let's see what if it crashes. Yep. So that's not fixed. Just media writer. Okay, let's see if I change the can't change the architecture in here. Yeah, I know. It crashed. Oh, I should have gonna open that up. What happened to the being able to change the architecture? Oh, when I clicked on more, now the selection between, oh, you can find an operating system image. Change it to 32-bit. Fedora Lab Scientific, or pick a custom image under 32-bit. Now that would let me do that. Oh yeah, I already figured that out before, didn't I? I don't know. Didn't do anything. Let's try 64-bit. Oh, it just searches that window. So you can either custom image or Fedora. So that's, I don't know why that's broken though. That right there. Oops, that's just the same thing. Of course it would. So I'm going to close Dragora now. And yeah, leave that. Click on the X to get rid of that. You know, booting. We'll open that up. I wanted, since I was talking about it and went to the trouble to install it, I thought I'd open it up. And okay, now you need root privileges, but it's got a bunch of bash. See. That's the command to start it. Okay. Now I don't have a USB stick plugged in, so I guess I should plug one in. Yeah, I'll just plug in my SD card. As long as I don't write to it, it'll be fine. My USB SD card and USB adapter. Oh, I can't. I've got both my, well, I'd have to go to the back of the machine. I just don't want to risk messing. Yeah, I have my backup drive plugged in. You just got to be really, really careful not to actually do anything. Well, Fedora especially, the Fedora Media Writer formats. Oh, cannot execute command. That's a new one. I'm starting to think that the Fedora 28 has still got a lot of bugs in it. I mean, it is new. It's only a month or two or three old. If it is, it's the most I've ever seen in a new Fedora, out release. I think it just won't run. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's running, yeah. And the only thing under media is mount into FS, which is my USB drive, my backup drive. So where did I find it? I don't know if it was under here. No, I guess not. There was only one. Now I hit U on the keyboard, and since there was only one with a U in it, it opened it back up. So that right there is the command it's running. But I don't think it's going to run. This is really getting aggravating as all get out. Okay, so neither one of those will run. Well, the other one, Media Router, will run, but I wouldn't trust it. If it's going to crash just because you click one button, I wouldn't sit there and try to do something as important as writing a whole USB stick, not knowing if it's going to give some kind of crazy error when you get done. Maybe I better keep on trying to figure out what's going on with this system before I build Mom's. Guess so. I don't think that the stuff I installed, the group install stuff, is causing all this. It's not. They're completely independent apps, and like these, I just got through installing UNet boot, and it looks to me like it could be SC Linux causing that. Well, there's no SC Linux alert, so no, it's not SC Linux. Because if it stopped it from working, then it would be an SC Linux alert. So anyway, now I really have to have a break. So that's as far as I'm going to go right now. Hopefully I'll come back, and hopefully I'll actually change the fan in that machine and do all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm going to go. I'll probably eat before I come back. See you later.